On Kochie's Business Builders, keeping well at work. A factory in Sydney gets staff into a new kind of routine. Plus, the mum of 3 that built a toy shop empire from scratch. And he's a master hairstylist and also knows how to straighten out a business. How Joh Bailey made it big. Hello and welcome to Kochie's Business Builders. Now, do you sit at a desk all day and wonder why you've got stiff and achy joints? Or are you in a physical job which requires some heavy lifting? You know, workplace injuries are common, so one business is hoping to change that by focusing on the health and wellness of its staff. Wilkhahn has adopted a program with the help of a fitness instructor. So let's see how they're getting on. This is the engine room of ergonomically designed office furniture. Wilkon prides itself on creating high-quality products so workers can be as comfortable as possible.
Part of the, philosophy with our design process, it's how can we sit in a better way? So there's a lot of press at the moment with sitting being the new smoking and sedentary lifestyles, but it's not sitting per se, which is a bad thing, it's lack of movement.
So the management team here at Wilkhahn in Sydney wants to get staff up and moving with the help of Todd Coulthard, a health, wellness and fitness instructor.
So Adrian, 3 months ago we implemented the mobility program. How have you found it in regards to the factory and how's it been received?
It's going very well and it's been received very positively. So initially the focus was with the production employees. So we went through each of the various work centres and identified whether there were any pre-existing conditions and importantly, what mobilisation should be put in place for the various sections and the various employees. So the feedback has been very positive, which is very reassuring to me because it's, proof of concept. And equally with the office, we've implemented a program there. So similarly to the production, there were some one-on-one assessments. Then through a series of small groups, there's various mobilisations that the teams are going through.
Things like neck mobilisation, shoulder, elbows, wrists, the problem areas, things like that. There are certain things that could be addressed on a regular basis throughout the day. In the factory setting like this, obviously it comes down to what the requirements of the job are. If they're sitting down again and they're sitting in confined spaces, working at a very limited range of motion, then there's need to get up and move. But I think ideally this program's designed to be done daily. It's what we call daily cars. So they're designed for each individual to go out, maximise joint range of motion. The mobilisations are basically like a toothbrush for your teeth. They help maintain joint range of motion, the health of the joint, things that slowly start deteriorating over time. And basically, we were all born with great range of motion, and slowly with that sedentary lifestyle, the regress and regress as it goes on. So have you noticed any significant change in the workforce, like reduced absenteeism, sick days, productivity, those sort of things?
We have, so really all of the above. Level of sick leave has gone down, workers' compensation as well. There's been a tremendous positive impact to the culture, and I think that's what I'm most happy about, just how well the program has been received. No doubt in the future, as there's positive gain from the program, that we'll see the levels of sick days and also workers' compensation continue to reduce.
So things have certainly changed for the better at Wilkhahn. But does this sort of concept work for all businesses?
Todd, from your perspective, why is it so important for people to move within the workplace?
The human body just wasn't designed to sit down for long periods of time. I think effects of the corporate sector has been well documented, but I probably see a larger scope for movement based on what's going on in the manufacturing sector at the moment. The repetitive nature of businesses such as this, sitting down at sewing machines for 8 hours a day, all these guys have repetitive natures in their business. So I think implementing strategies to get them up, moving outside of those realms of their normal movement patterns is going to help promote and prolong their career in that job itself.
Coming up, how Wilkon has been recognised globally for its work in workplace wellness and how your business can do the same. We have some good news. Wages are on the up in small business. The latest State of Small Business report from Xero shows the rental, hiring and real estate industries experienced 7% median wage growth. People working in the financial and insurance services industries are also bringing home more dough. The lowest wage growth was seen in the professional, scientific and technical services industry at 2.6%. It also depends on where you live. Wage growth was higher in metropolitan areas across all states except Tasmania. The Xero report also found payment times are improving. Hallelujah. On average, small businesses waited 34.2 days to be paid on a 30-day invoice. Still late, but that's the best result in 3 years. Welcome back. You're watching Kochie's Business Builders. Today we're checking in on a business that implemented a health and wellness program for staff. Wilkhahn has seen staff performance and attendance improve, and now it's being recognised for best practice in workplace wellness on a global scale. Let's check back in with Todd and Adrian.
So, Adrian, how are you getting along with the WELL qualification?
We're going great. Yeah, as you know, we're very close to achieving WELL goals. And WELL, it's a globally recognised certification, which is based on the wellness of employees. And for us, it was very important because wellness and health and wellbeing of our employees is of paramount importance and part of our core values. So with the certification, we'll be the first business in Australia that'll have retail gold for WELL. And in order to achieve the certification, there's a number of concepts. So they include things such as access to lighting for the employees, access to filtered water, sugar-free drinks, there's a biophilia aspect, and also a fitness concept. We've been working very closely with you. I guess from our products, it's part of our design philosophy, especially with our seating, that we can create products that enable our customers to sit in a healthier way. And that had a very strong alignment back to our employees and the certification, that we can encourage this degree of wellness within our own organisation. And Todd, I'd be interested to know if companies weren't to implement a program such as theirs, what would be the end result?
I think companies are probably already experiencing that right now, to be honest with you. They're seeing like workers' compensation claims, they're seeing lack of application when they come to work, people are in pain, the presenteeism aspect in regards to like how productive they are in their workstations. The whole culture of the place is actually reducing as well. There's a lot of negative side effects. I think obviously for someone that's working in upholstery, for instance, if that was their core skill set, they should be doing everything in their power to try and prolong their career by self-fabrication and maintaining good, healthy joint range of motion. So it's as much about them as it is about the company.
Todd, that's a very important point and very applicable to us. We are a multi-generational organisation, especially in production, where we have approximately 20 employees, half of which are over the age of 50 and the other half that are 20 to 30 years old. Can the program be adapted so for the younger employees compared to the more aged employees that there can be a fit on both sides?
Absolutely, yeah, it's tailored like that. I think it's going back to the basis of just normal human function. So whether you're 16 years old or whether you're 40 years old, we're trying to maintain or restore normal function anyway. So the program definitely caters for all people. Whether the realms of those movement patterns might be on the same level, they're probably not, but we kind of work within the capacity of the joint and the person that we're working with, and getting them to understand and connect with that joint to understand where the restrictions are and what their capacity is, and making sure that they don't work through those areas of pain.
Todd, what do you feel the obligation is, say for an employer and the design of a workplace, against what individual responsibility an employee may have?
I think the sole responsibility initially has to be on the employee to start taking some responsibility for themselves, micromanaging their own problems. But first, the biggest issue is then getting them to identify with it first, and then working with the company itself to come up with a clear outcome, a positive outcome, that can see that both areas are working in the same direction.
Look, it makes a lot of sense, both financially and health-wise, doesn't it? Get up and move, and don't just rely on your employer to come up with a wellness program. And if you're the boss, I hope we've given you some food for thought. Now, to pillars of success, helping you build solid foundations. This week, a business growth advisor, Anna Samios, has the secret recipe to success as she talks strategy.
This week's pillar of success is creating your secret recipe. Viewing your market through a different lens to your competitors is an essential step in achieving a differentiated strategy. Chances are competitors have the same core customers as you and are ready to fight hard to win their business. Underpinning your strategy is a set of actions, checklists or processes that are unique only to you. That's your business's secret recipe. How you deliver on your promises to your core customer is where differentiation occurs. Your customer experience is the promise you're making to your customers that really matter to them and sets you apart from your competition. What makes a customer experience great is not only its appeal to your core customer and its ability to help you close sales, but your ability to consistently deliver on that great experience. That's when systems and checklists are vital. Otherwise, you risk leaving serious money on the table and waste time reinventing the wheel, or even worse, fixing up mistakes. Focus on 3 to 5 how-tos that will really wow your core customer, and don't try and be everything to everyone. That's when great strategy begins to leverage.
Still to come, he's been at the top of his game for almost 30 years. Hairdresser Joh Bailey shares his top tips for success. Plus, the mum who grew a family business with a special awareness of the environment. Her story is next.
Hi there, my name's Joh Bailey and I'm the founder and operator of Joh Bailey Hairdressing. I've got 3 tips that have worked well for me that I'm going to share with you today. Number 1 is to have a good product and know your product. There's no point in going to market with a product that's not good enough. Number 2 is to roll with the punches. 5 or 10 year plans have never worked for us. We just work with what's in front of us on a day-to-day basis. My 3rd tip would be to never give up. You have to just keep pushing on. It's not how you go down that counts, it's how you come back up again. Thank you very much for having me today and sharing my 3 business tips to success with you.
Well, Joh Bailey sure has done well, hasn't he? Don't think he'd have much luck touching up my do, though. It wouldn't take him long. Now to a mum with a passion for kids' toys and the environment. Pippa Buxton is the founder of Little Earth Nest, an eco-friendly one-stop shop for families. What started as an online store has now transformed into a bricks and mortar business.
I'm Pippa Buxton and I own Little Earth Nest, which is an eco-store for families that I have been growing since 2006. We have a thriving online store as well as our flagship store here in East Geelong and an outlet out of our warehouse. We aim to cater for any Australian, but specifically for eco-minded Australian families, from mums and dads to babies and children. And we have quite a comprehensive range. As you can see, there's a wide range of stock, and it ranges from the stainless steel water bottles and reusable products such as for food storage, through to quality wooden toys, eco-friendly toys for babies that have all met security and safety checks and things like that. There will be 2 major challenges that I'd say across the around 12 years that I've been growing the business, and the first actually is what I would say is overcoming the roadblocks and mindset of self-limiting beliefs that a lot of women in business have. So I feel like that's a key challenge that I have had, and I still work on that every day. It's only really a generation back to my mother where people were being fired on their wedding day. It's not something that we talk about really enough. Certainly there's been a lot of people that felt like what I was doing would be impossible. You know, I've raised my 3 children at the same time as growing to a business where we're looking at 7 figures. I think that is something quite unique, and I feel really lucky, grateful for the opportunity to be a female voice to say, women can do this, I've done this, and anybody can do this. So certainly overcoming those self-limiting beliefs is a challenge that I've faced. For us as an independently owned business, limitations on capital investment have been the major reason that our growth has been slow. So I've had to work very long hours. You can't get around that there's been a lot of hard work invested into what we're doing. But because the business is so passion-driven, we've got the incentives to keep going with it, you know, both for our family, for my pride of growing what we have turned Little Earth Nest into today, and also for the sustainable ethos, and so that we can continue giving and contributing to the community in that way. I think the success of our business is a great show point to show that there is definitely still interest in conventional toys, in quality wooden toys. Children themselves are actually driven to the sort of product that we offer, and when they're stripped back or removed away from the devices, you actually get to see their imagination shine and show that it's inherent within them to create imaginary worlds. And that's some of the best elements of what I do, is seeing children enjoy the toys. So we don't have difficulty selling what we sell, and children definitely really enjoy it. I think probably a lot more sometimes than their parents expected.
I love Pippa's enthusiasm and passion for what she does. Up next, Ask Kochie. You throw me a business question and I do my best to answer.
According to Google, people are using their mobile devices to search the web more often than from their desktops. As a result, Google will now reward website pages that are mobile-friendly with higher search rankings than pages that don't score as well. Google has found that mobile pages can take an average of 15.3 seconds to load. That's a long time, and even a 1-second delay can lead to a 20% drop in conversions. So Google is looking to lower this to an average of 5 seconds per page overall when using a 3G network. So with this in mind, you can speed up your site by optimizing your images, both by reducing their size and dimensions and adding more compression. A tip here is to do this before you upload your images to your website, rather than relying on your CMS to make the right settings. Secondly, clean up your URL link redirects. So this is when a browser is directed to a substitute page instead of the original page, and eliminating these can shave valuable time from your overall site speed. Your website hosting server may also be a culprit when contributing to slow page loads. So if you have a cheap hosting service, you might want to pay for something better or upgrade your hosting hardware to get a better speed result.
Now time for Ask Kochie. This week, a Gold Coast business owner got in touch asking about the best ways to upgrade his tech.
Hi Kochie, it's Jason Spohr from Coastal Asbestos Removal. We're based on the Gold Coast. We've just moved our operations out home into our brand new office space, and we're going to need a few things. First of all, we're going to need some computers for our sales and marketing staff, and we're going to have to change our cloud-based software that we've got and sort of bring everything together. What I really want is something with a dashboard so I can overlook it all, but there's so many options out there and I'm just really time for. So can you help us out, Kochie?
Oh, great question, Jason. Thanks so much for getting in touch. Well, I know a bit about how to manage a small business like you. When it comes to IT, I'm a bit in the dark. So that's why I've asked Mark Fenson, Business and Mobility Solutions Evangelist from HP. There's a full bottle on it to help answer your question. Mark, really common, isn't it? As small business owners, we're time poor. We don't even get to review our tech, let alone make a decision on it.
That's right, David. And I totally understand business owners are focused on getting the job done, that they just don't have the time to sort out their IT needs. And good on you, Jason, for taking the initiative to focus on this.
Now, HP, though, has a solution really well designed for Jason.
Absolutely, David. Jason, HP has an offering that I think could be perfect for you. You mentioned you need to buy new computers for your sales and marketing team at Coastal Asbestos Removal. Well, HP's Device as a Service is all about making sure that as a first step, you have the right Intel-based laptop, 2-in-1, desktop PC, whatever is required for your needs. Secondly, we make sure you set up on a really simple and flexible solution. The beauty of this solution is that you can scale up and down the number of devices because we understand that small business needs fluctuate. This solution also makes sure you don't have to worry about ongoing maintenance of the device, so things like PC updates and potential security issues will be addressed before they become a problem. And if you need installation and configuration of the device in the office, we're able to support that and put that into the solution as well.
Okay, so it sort of changes all our thinking, doesn't it? This device as a service rather than a box. What drove that initiative?
David, it's really designed to help take the stress out of acquiring, deploying and managing technology. With a single contract across both device and services and no upfront investment, HP's Device as a Service offers predictable annual cost because you're only paying for the device and the service you require. Say, for example, you had your eye on a new Intel 8th Gen CPU two-in-one device. This is the solution means that organisations can upgrade to new technologies more easily. And this is so important because old technology slows everyone down. Business owners don't need the responsibility of managing and maintaining devices. They have enough on their plate.
Yeah. So where can people get more information from HP?
Absolutely. Go to hp.com.au/DAAS.
Okay, well, there you have it, Jason. A full service which leaves you time for doing what you need to do, which of course is running your own business. For even more details, check out the Intel Innovation Hub on the KBB website. Mark, thanks so much for coming in and giving us your expert advice. It's terrific to have you along. And don't forget, if you have a question you'd like answered, be sure to send it to kbb@pinstripemedia.com.au. I'll do my best to answer it or get the evangelist in. He's not that saintly to help. Coming up next week, why sole operators should pay themselves a salary. And don't forget to join our Facebook Live discussion every Monday from 12:30. See you next week for more Kochie's Business Builders.